I'm gonna be 100% honest, I don't get why Annihilate just becomes a slightly more blue if there's a reason behind it. Because, like, it doesn't even look that good on it. I mean, it looks good in the sense that, yeah, it looks good, but when you realize what these ones look like, whoo, you're gonna want to replace that thing stat. I made 2 separate shinies for this thing, both looking very good on it and both having a meaning behind it. The first one is this red one, which obviously is a no-brainer. Rage is typically associated with the color red, so why not just make the shiny form red, like Rage? It also looks like comic book Red Hulk, with the black chains and the red body, and obviously Rage is red. But there's also option B, which is a green coloration. Now, if you don't get this reference, I have a couple questions for you. Number 1, have you ever been outside? And number 2, have you ever been to a movie? Because if you don't know, the Hulk is green with purple pants. So his shiny is green with purple eyes. This should have been a no-brainer as well. You have Hulk and you have red. 2 of the most common things you associate with the word anger or hatred. And you make the Pokemon that is literally too angry to die blue. Hire me, Game Freak. Now, this next one I'm actually very, very proud of, and I'm kind of disappointed in the original one. First of all, let's talk about Gimmighoul as a Pokemon. Originally, I hated Gimmighoul for 2 reasons. Number 1, I didn't know how to evolve this thing. I knew that I had to collect 999 coins, but finding random Gimmighoul in the wild was going to take years. But then a friend told me, hey, you know you can just, find the chest forms, right? And I evolved Gimmighoul into Goldengo in like, 20 minutes. But something always bugged me. What did shiny Gimmighoul look like? I finally figured the answer to that question, and I'm not disappointed. Okay, who am I kidding? I'm disappointed. And don't even get me talking about Goldengo, because I got some words for Game Freak. So I decided to myself, it's a chest from medieval times. What was popular in medieval times? Iron, silver. What were coins made out of? Silver. What color is also associated with value? Silver. What did old chests look like? They were brown and black. So I made shiny Gimmighoul brown and black with a white body. Again, not only does this look like a normal medieval chest, it also resembles silvers, because silvers were also very valuable back in the day. And obviously, that's obvious. I really like the way that this thing looks. Though I wish I could have changed the yellow on Gimmighoul to better represent something, you'll see why in a second that I had to leave it the way it was. So what does the roaming form look like? Well, unfortunately, the roaming form doesn't look half as good. It looks like a fifth as good. The problem with the roaming form is that you can't really change the yellow on it to be silver without it just looking like it has no saturation or life in it. So I found a compromise. What was also a very major and popular resource back in the day? Bronze, the Bronze Age, the Copper Age. What color is bronze and copper? If we're being general here, it's an orangish brownish. Not only was bronze a popular material back in the day before we got things like iron and whatnot, but it also is still used in pennies, or at least I think copper is. So sort of a mix match of the two makes this look good. There's also the fact that copper is used in things such as wires, rods, machines, and with this being a Pokemon that literally has dowsing rods on it, I thought it made perfect sense to, switch that up a bit. So is it more so based off of copper than bronze? Sort of. But does the bronze element make itself apparent? Yes. What do you think shiny Goldengo looks like? Is it A, this, B, that, C, that, or D, that? Now, if you thought A was just a normal picture of Goldengo, you're right, in the sense that that's also the shiny form of Goldengo. At least you can tell with Garchomp, when they're side by side to each other, which is the shiny form. Goldengo, the only difference is, get this, the orange parts of its body become slightly less orange. Okay, so here's a silver Goldengo. Whoop-de-doo, it's silver. There's multiple inspirations for this thing. Number 1, silver again, silver gold substitute. Number 2, you know the Silver Surfer from Marvel Comics? Silver Surfer, it surfs on gold. Now it surfs on silver. It's the Silver Surfer. It is the perfect shiny for this Pokemon. Does copper and bronze look well on it too? Sure, but does the silver look much better? Yes, because it looks like metal, iron, steel. It is literally an interchangeable shiny, and I don't understand why they just made it slightly less yellow. So here's the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer Goldengo. It's now Sylvango. Salvango. I don't know. That sounds Spanish. I just saw Puss in Boots. Maybe Salvango's a word. First of all, do I hate the Paradox forms from the future? Absolutely not.
Do I hate their shinies? Yes. Yes, ooh.
I have two approaches for the shiny paradox Pokemon. Let's look at Iron Treads for a second. Iron Treads and all the shiny paradox Pokemon that I've made have two ideas. Number one, you keep the main body the silver and you change the internal colorations. Instead of being red, he has green on him, which is also a reference to nuclear reactors becoming more common. Radiation, green. Future material, green. The second idea is that we change the original color to a silver like usual, but we change the main color as well. The problem with every shiny form utilized in Scarlet and Violet for Iron Paradox Pokemon is that they look exactly the same. You can't even tell that they're shiny unless they're side by side. And if anything, it's mainly just one change. While also making the internal coloration different, you differentiate the two shinies in a way that makes them noticeable. This is a reference to hydropower becoming more common. I personally prefer the green on the original one because I think it just pops out way more and also isn't just a dull cyan silver. Iron Bundo Shiny. Now, the first one is just really simple. It's just normal Delibird with more cyan water. That's, bleached, it's chemicals in it. Typical poolish water, not so the refined normal water. The second shiny completely cuts the body into a silver, but to differentiate it, makes the blue a purple. This isn't necessarily based off anything from the future, but as neon lights become more apparent in cities, I think this is also a good shiny for it. But I, again, kind of prefer the silver with the purple. Although the normal one looks good, I think the silver and purple makes it pop out way more. Iron Hand's first shiny makes it look somewhat like normal Hariyama with the purple hands, although the green is sort of just a color I threw on there for fun. The second form of Iron Hands that's shiny, again, the dull version with no colors. But instead of it just staying yellow and having silver bits, the main part switches to red. This is obviously a reference to things such as war, fighting. You could also make it just orange to be fighting type. But nope, it's just a simple monochrome. Iron Jugulus. Oh boy, look how they massacred my boy. If this is what Iron Jugulus looked like, I would probably pay Game Freak to give this to me. It's a reference to not only its original shiny, which, is green with purple, but the red is made much more vibrant and the green is a duller color. Well, if you can't tell the reference, it's Mecha King Ghidorah, guys, come on. With Iron Thorns literally becoming Mecha Godzilla, this is obviously obvious. The orange and the yellow make it look golden and more amber-like, and since amber is apparently a third idea for the game, Scarlet, Violet, Amber, also Riddler Coup or something, I think making this amber is only a callback to that, but also a callback to King Ghidorah, which was everyone speculating what this thing would have looked like, but nope, it's just a slightly more mechanic Hydreigon. Going off of the same thing with Iron Moth, it looks yellow and golden because it looks like the sun. Sun Pokemon, and a shiny should reflect upon that. With the solar panels and obviously drawing energy from heat, its shiny form should also resemble the sun. But instead of it being just a simple orange, I made it more yellowish because electricity and solar heat. I also changed the major body to be more oranges to represent that fire typing. This is the shiny form with the monochrome coloration. I made it purple because obviously it's a poison type and purple moths aren't all that rare. I'm going to be honest with you guys for a second. Be real with me. Iron Thorns is the only one that has a good looking shiny, and the reason that is because it doesn't naturally look silver. Iron Thorns is naturally green. The problem with all the other Paradox ones that they picked is that they have attributes that are silver on them. Iron Valiants looks somewhat good as a shiny, but I think my versions are slightly different. The blue is meant to represent the shiny forms of Ralts, Kirlia, Gardevoir, Gallade, and obviously since this thing is Mega Gallade, I didn't want to just make it dark blue, so I made it more so Gardevoir's coloration. The pink blades are also supposed to represent the whole feminine part of it, it having a skirt and being Gardevoir and whatnot, but also being partially Gallade. And since Gallade is already red, I think the pink works well on it. Honestly, as long as it's just a different shade of color from the typical red, I don't care what color it is. Those are my thoughts on this, and I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe for more shiny content on the channel, because obviously, there's going to be way more of it.